Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. Today's game we have on the docket is a game by Dave Killingsworth. It is called Nightmare Forest Alien Invasion. I'm brought to you here with the Cardboard Stacker.
Hi everyone.
And we will be reviewing the second game in a series of two, which is going to have a third part. This game is Alien Invasion, and the original game was
Dead Run. And Dead Run was you're trying to run away from these zombie animals. Well, in Alien Invasion, you're trying to hunt these aliens that had invaded these forests.
It's 1 to 6 players, about 20 to 60 minutes long, and it plays about 8 and up. Players basically go out through the forest and flip over cards, turning over aliens, traps, and allies, and they're going to try and clear the forest of all these bad things. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the game.
Let's go.
Okay, so here we have the game Nightmare Forest Alien Invasion. Let's show you how to set it up. Now, the first thing you do is pick how many players you want to start the game. In this scenario, we're going to have 2 players, so we're going to have 7 cards for each player to form the board. 2 from the tier 1 deck, 2 from the tier 2, 2 from the tier 3, and a single card from the tier 4. And provided that it's 2 players, you're going to have that multiplied by 2. If it was 3 players, you multiply that by 3, and form the board based on what the rules say. The rules specify for this one that it's a 4x4 with 2 additional cards placed up here. Secondly, you have a character for each and every single player, and you go ahead and place them on the outside of the board surrounding the cards. Then each player will select a character card. Now these character cards are blank, so you just go ahead and choose whichever one you'd like. After you do that, you select their ability by picking 2 cards from the stack at random, and then choosing between those 2 cards. This is a Nightingale and this is a Scavenger, and they do different things, and you pick which one you think is best. If I would choose the Scavenger, it has 9 health, so I would select this card, place it next to the player, and then take health tokens equal to the amount of player health and place them on the card. For instance, this one says 9. After you got the players set up, their health and ability cards set up as well, you go ahead and check the turn marker. Do you want to play an easy, a medium, or a hard game? And you place it on what the corresponding number is represented on that difficulty level. Afterwards, you give the active player token to each and every single player, indicating when they end their turn, they switch to the turn over section, and that is the basic setup of the game. So once the game's set up, the last thing you need to do is give players their action die, which are these little die here. And they're going to have different things on them. The first is a blank space, the second is an explosion, and the third is a double explosion. You're going to use these die as action markers, basically. If you want to do a specific action like move, it might cost you a die, but the first one's free. Or if you want to search for gear, you can use the amount of die you want to search for the amount of gear. Also, if you'd like to fight an alien, that could cost you an action. Or as well as healing another player, that could also cost you an action. Okay, so now we're going to give you an example of turn 1 for the first player of the game. Now he gets his 4 action die and he gets a free move, which means he could choose to use that free move to search and flip over one of the tier cards on the field, representing an alien. Now there's tier 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and they get progressively harder depending on the cards, obviously 4 being the most difficult and 1 being the easiest. And this being the tier 2 alien, he's going to be fighting a level 4 alien. To fight an alien, you simply take as many die as you would like based on the amount you have, and you roll that die. Here we go, we have a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and if it is equivalent to the amount of explosions we get, or if we get more explosions than the number, the alien is killed, and we get to do a free move, taking this guy off, and using it as experience. Now it's a tier 2, so it counts as 2 experience, and the character would go here. Now he might choose not to move actually, and instead he could search for a item card, and he can use all of his die, or some of his die to do so. We'll just go ahead and show you all 4. There you go, 1, 2, 3, and then a double explosion, which means he gets 1 card, 2, and 3, as well as choosing 2 more, and he gets to look at those cards and pick which one he likes. Here we go. Here's the gear he's got. Let me talk to you about item cards. Alright, so let's talk about item cards now. So realize that you can only keep 3 items after the end of your turn, and any other additional cards you have, they have to be discarded. And generally you're going to get either one-use items or weapon cards. I picked out a couple of my favorites. So here we have Hand Blades. And Hand Blades has no noise value and a single point of damage on it. It's also a one-handed item with infinite use. Basically, The sound volume is going to determine if you're going to need to roll a die and what aliens will come. And the louder the gun is or weapon is, the more likely an alien will spawn, and the higher probability it is of a bad, scary alien spawning, higher tier basically. Also, you have these discard ability items like the stealth unit, which lets you move diagonally, as well as the BDG, which is a huge weapon and actually has 2 bullets. Ammo is simple. Once you use the item, you have to turn it over, and after you use it again, it goes away if it has 2 uses. And they only can be used a certain amount of times based on the amount of ammunition. However, you have something like this, which is a fusion blade, and the fusion blade has 3 damage, it's a 2-handed item, and it can be used infinite number of times. Now realize you can use all of your weapons in your turn, provided you use one-handers first and then a 2-hander last. Now if you use 2 one-handers at the same time, that would count as a 2-hander, and then you can't use any items after that. Or if you use a 2-hander first, you can't use any items after that as well. Also, let's talk about experience. Now here we have a experience cheat sheet that tells you what you can use your experience for. So if the player had actually killed that monster as opposed to going for the items, he would have the ability to spend experience points. Now let's say in the middle of the game he had 7 points. Well, 7 points can let you go up from level 3 to 4, where 5 might let you go up from level 2 to 3, and 3 would let you go up from 1 to 2. What's the point of leveling? Well, that's simple. You get an additional action die on your turn. And you can spend this experience points whenever you want in order to get people higher level. I suggest you do so as soon as you possibly can. The other 2 uses for spending experience are to re-roll die, which will cost you 2, or if you want, you can regain somebody's health point by 1 for 3 experience. Okay, so now we've moved on to about the middle of the game, and the players have actually gone and met each other right here. And they are actually going to go ahead and attempt to kill this big baddie level 4, tier 4 monster here. Now players are actually able to fight at the same time if they would like. And they will go ahead and first flip over the monster and reveal it, and then decide what die they're going to use and what weapons they're going to use. This player here will use their hand blade, and this player here will use his hunting knife, and he will go ahead and use all 3 of his dice, and he will use 2 of his. And they're both going to roll at the same time. Boom. Now we've got 3 there, plus 1 and 1 is 5. And so 5 doesn't beat that 11, and they get utterly clobbered. Let's show you how an alien attacks. Well, it's simple. It's based on the tier of the alien. This tier alien is 4, so he gets 4 dice on the players. He does damage to them based on that. In this example here, they each take 4 damage. If this would lower the player's health points to less than 1, they would die, and if any player dies, the game is over. Additionally, after everybody's taken their turn, there's a little round tracker here. And that round tracker moves down 1 point for every single round of the game, everybody taking their turns. If this round tracker gets all the way down to 0, everybody loses as well. Now players can't move, or they can still perform actions, but they can't move after they start a fight with an alien. And they have to continue to stay there until that alien has been resolved. And that's basically the idea of the game. Players continue to go around the board, collecting items, healing each other, using their one-time uses, avoiding traps, as well as fighting aliens. And they need to clear the entire board, everything must be cleared, in order to win the game before time runs out or one player dies. Now there are a few more nuances that I didn't explain, like character abilities and what they all can do, as well as single-use items and the traps involved and allies on the field. But I want to leave a little bit of surprise for you guys to figure out what they do. So now, me and Ferdinand, the cardboard stacker, will go ahead and tell you what we think about the game. So Nightmare Forest Alien Invasion is a game that can function as a solitaire game, as well as being played up to 6 players who can play as a group around the table, basically. Well, I mean, how'd you feel about the art?
The art, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not finished, so we haven't seen anything. I mean, I do like that we have like the smaller aliens in the lower levels, and then you get the big, scary aliens.
The boss is obviously going to be big, and you're going to know the difference between a boss alien and a small one. The tier 4s are going to be specifically 9s, 10s, 11s, as well as the tier 1s are going to be lower, so you're going to kind of get the feel with the artwork as well. I'm excited for the flavor text as well.
I mean, they haven't even flavor text. I mean, they have sort of wit.
Exactly. Totally.
Oh, also the character design as well. I mean, I do like it. It's a diverse cast.
Yeah, there's definitely a diverse amount of characters you can choose from, but the special abilities is what I think is really interesting, because that's where you can actually get into what your character does, not only just what it looks like.
Yeah, the characters themselves don't have abilities. You get to select 2 abilities, 1 ability out of 2 in the game.
And what about the components? So you think the dice pretty solid?
No, dice. I like the dice. I mean, it's like I mean, they're almost like kind of like Dice from Betrayal.
Yeah,
Kinda like,
they work. They're actually really nice quality, and they got like a little etching to them as well.
Yeah.
And then you got the health, which is nice too. These little guys here, the little like clear plastic.
I don't know if that
Heart
actually
cubes.
is that coming with the game or not.
I'm not sure, but I
Yeah.
like them. And if you don't have them, you could probably find them somewhere. I'm
Yeah.
sure. And the cards themselves, the quality is.
We can't say because they're not ready.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. But when they already, I'm sure they'll probably be pretty high quality. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
the same quality as the last game, the Dead Run game. Replayability of the game is there as well, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, just the mixing of all the different tiers. You're always going to have a different mat as well based on how many players are going to be involved in the game. So if you have a 5-player game, it's going to be a lot more.
You know, and you can always switch it up too. You can add more higher level monsters, and
And
then
you can play by yourself as one too, if you wanted one player. But you can have 6 characters in the game, so you can play a really big game, really
Yeah.
big solitaire game.
I mean, yeah. I mean, speaking of replayability, I mean, you're only using about 2 cards per player.
Right,
And,
exactly.
I mean, like here's like a 2-player game. That's the rest of the cards.
So there's plenty to go. And the gear in the game, you definitely want to dig for those really good cards. But the thing is, how much do you want to dig before it's going to cost you a lot of turns? Because
Yeah.
for me, we won just on the nick of time. Like we almost didn't win because of our digging.
So there's about 7 monsters per player.
Yeah.
I believe so. So I mean, that's about
Or
more-
traps.
Yeah, that's like more like 1 or 2 monster aliens per turn that you have to keep track of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but when you go through the game, you can level up, which will help you more, and then you have the gear cards, when you find the better gear cards, you can actually just keep going.
Lightsaber. Overall, the game's solid. It's fun. It's replayable. All the different characters with the different abilities makes it nice. The larger boards, like I was saying, is really cool as well. It's a solid game. I really enjoy it. It's on Kickstarter right now. What do you think about it?
Oh, I like it a lot, and it's the replayability and the kind of like these almost like the kind of like scary artwork too.
Yeah, the theme works for it well. I like the series. I like how it's going through a series of games. Yeah. And there's going to be a third game, which I don't know if I can talk about or not. But there's a third game coming out eventually, and it should be pretty cool. And I like how they kind of all it flows together into this big storyline.
Yeah, it does have like that horror storyline. I mean, like there's the zombie animal ones, which is pretty cool, and that's you're trying to run away. This one you're trying to
actually
go
clear
inside,
them out of the forest. You want to kill all these things as opposed to running away. So overall, pretty solid game from both of us. Thumbs up for me.
And me too.
And if you enjoy this and you want to see the game itself, it's on Kickstarter right now, and you can go ahead and check it out. There's right in the description below. We'll have a link.
All right.
Thanks for watching another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. If you like this video and you want to see more, go ahead and check us out here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment. Also, I want to give a big thank you for Ferdinand, the cardboard stacker, who's also on YouTube. I suggest you go ahead and check out his channel and subscribe as well. If you like this video and you like other content like it, you can go ahead and check out his video as well in the Kickstarter, as well as going to Nightmare Forest Alien Invasion. It's just Kickstarter going on right now, but not for very much longer. It's in the description below. Additionally, go ahead and check out our site, unfilteredgamer.com. We've got giveaways, blog posts, as well as our Kickstarter list there. And we have our sponsors or friends at everythingboardgames.com and thegiveawaygeek.com. All right, guys. Well, see you next time.